So announcements. I was having the thoughts were arising while I was sitting. Practice period was traditionally the monks and, well, not the nuns, because they were more protected in the times they were in, but the monks would go out wandering to teach and to do alms, and then in the rainy season they would come back to the monastery. They would all come back together again for practice. And I was thinking, I mean, I've been out wandering, traveling, you've been out, Sari's been out camping, everybody's been and or is wandering somewhere. And there's something beautiful about the practice period this time of year where we all just come back together again with the deep intention to affirm what we always know, but sometimes we forget. That practice and practicing Buddha's way and the Bodhisattva way is the depth, the through line of our lives. And we just come back to affirm that and to help each other. That's all. And then each year we have a Shuso, and that's wonderful. And each year we have a topic, and that's wonderful. But the essential part of it is just coming home, coming back. So I'm saying that I mean, each of you will do what's right for you. And I'm going to talk today about Suzuki Roshi's talk about yes, I will. So if there is something in you that just says yes, just do it. Just trust it. Then get the application and find out what that yes looks like for you. And if something comes up that says no, then stay with the no and find out whether that's your small mind or your big mind without any judgment. I've got a very active small mind that has lots of opinions. And for some people, saying no is just the right thing because that's what's happening in your life. And investigate who's saying yes too, always. What's my deepest intention? And what do I in the world need? That's all. So all of that is to say, we sent out today again the information about the practice period, the applications. October 4th is the due date, and as much as you can, if you can send them in, then it will make the Shuso and all of us really happy because. The Shuso is bowing. She's nervous enough. Don't make her wait for your practice period application if it's the right thing to do. She's nodding. I'm going to leave exactly at 6:30 today because I am. Sometimes I wonder who in the world in me says yes. I'm getting on an airplane tomorrow morning, flying out of the Oakland airport, and I'm going to go down and spend the night with my son and his wife and doggy, so I can get to the airport really easily. I'm going to go up to Red Cedars Inn and ordain Raisela Bayan, who sometimes practices with us online. Many of you know her. She's a long-term practitioner. So I won't be here on Thursday. Debbie will be here, and we'll continue our investigation of becoming yourself. I had a sweet conversation at Dokusan with Raisela today. I don't think she'd mind me sharing because, it's like, what is this thing to be ordained as a priest? And why do some people do it? And why do some people not do it? And I never wanted, you all have probably heard this, I never wanted to be a priest. Norman kind of tricked me. He said, well, why don't you do lay ordination? And I thought, I just want to be a lay person in the world with deep vows. And so I went, okay. Because his point was, none of us are monastics. I mean, in a Theravada country, in some countries, there's this division between monastics and lay people. But in the West, some of us go into monasteries for some period of time, but we're all in the world. And how we do that and how we manifest it, that's the question. And some of us, I mean, I really do, some of us just need these things more than other people. And it's really helpful. I mean, if you're called to do formal jukai, that's wonderful, and some people don't need to do that. And if wrapping yourself, I remember saying, and I still feel that I wanted to just wrap every inch of me up in Buddha's robe, which is a priest robe, because I know how deluded I am. So it's like, the kind of burqa thing, but no, that's not the idea. But I'm so grateful that this particular way of practicing is something that I'm able to do, and I'm able to help Raisela. But the most important thing, at least in this moment, is be humble. Don't think you're doing something special, or whether you have priest vows or robes, or you do a form. It's just be a human being, be kind, be present. And if these things help you, then that's wonderful. Let's just, in 100,000,000 ways, let's just keep helping each other wake up to be good, true human beings. Yes, I will. I will do it. So, I think it's wonderful and interesting that in this new book, the compilation of Suzuki Roshi's, I seem to have my hand up on screen. I will do it. That the books are divided into thirds, and a full third of it is about Zen ethics. And I've always felt, when I go and look for Suzuki Roshi unedited teachings, which are a total delight. And I've said this before, mostly because you get to see how much he laughs. He says something, then they say laugh. Then he says something that says laugh. But mostly Zen looks pretty serious, and mostly the laughs get edited out. So, but when I've gone and looked, it's his precept talks that move me really deeply and point to, I think it's ethics and morality, and we come from a Judeo-Christian tradition, and we have a dualistic mind, and there's good and there's bad, and there is good and there is bad, and please pay attention. But it's really easy to set yourself up against yourself. Anybody notice that? There's some laughter in the room. So I thought, and I apologize to people, sort of, not really, but kind of. I'm going to lower my hand here. People who come to the Precepts class once a month, which I'll say again, I never set out to do this precept class ongoing. It just happened after starting it about 20 years ago. And then people just wanted to come to, I always thought the precepts were kind of a drag. And who knew that they're a way to live, and that it's actually fruitful and wonderful to turn our lives through them. And when I say they were a drag, it was because it was back in the 60s and 70s, and we didn't want anybody to tell us what to do anyway. And I'm sort of that nature anyway. But when you figure out that nobody's telling you what to do, they're just big, beautiful, helping hearts and hands and mirrors, there's a whole other relationship to it. So I thought that we would start with, and the people in the room have the chant books, and Jared's going to put on screen. I thought that we would, tonight and forever, just chant the precepts, and just chant them with your body, chant them with your heart, see what arises. See what you like and don't like. See, maybe you'll hear something that you never heard before, and study your aversion, study your love and wonder. And so we're on page 12 in the chant books. And yeah, so what's on the screen is the same in the chant books here. So I'm going to start with, as I always do, my most favorite part of they're called repentance or renunciation, which to me over time have just become this wonderful affirmation of I'm a human being. Don't skip it. Then we will do I take refuge in Buddha, and Debbie will read it nice and loud at the first part, and then we'll read together the phrases in italics. Malcolm can do the second part, Susan can do the third part. Let's see, then I'll jump on screen. Susan Hasari, you can do the threefold refuge. No, excuse me, we already did that. Susan Hasari, you can do the 3 pure precepts and the 10 clear mind precepts.
We're confused.
You're confused.
Yeah.
Good for you. Confession, yeah.
Are we trading off? Am I doing the whole thing?
You're just gonna do, I take refuge in Buddha, and then we'll all say together the part in the italics, but
Okay.
you'll also say that, and Malcolm will say, I take refuge in Dharma, and then we'll all read, okay, and then Susan, okay? So then when we go over the 10 clear mind precepts, how about the first 3, Ellen can do, I can't see everybody on screen, 4, 5, and 6, how about Rachel Gardner? And 7, 8, 9, and 10. How about Gretchen? Okay, and then we'll jump to see what Suzuki Roshi has to say about all this. Okay, everybody confused enough?
Absolutely.
Okay. We can say this together. All my ancient twisted karma from beginningless greed, hate, and delusion, born through body, speech, and mind, I now fully avow.
I take refuge in Buddha.
Before all beings, immersing body and mind, deeply in the way, awakening true mind.
I take refuge in Dharma.
Before all beings, entering deeply the merciful ocean of Buddha's way.
I take refuge in Sangha.
Before all beings, bringing harmony to everyone, free from hindrance.
I vow to avoid all action that creates suffering. I vow to do all action that creates true happiness. I vow to act with others always in mind.
A disciple of the Buddha does not kill.
A disciple of the Buddha.
Buddha nurtures.
Like
A disciple of the Buddha does not steal.
A disciple of the Buddha.
is what is offered as a gift.
A disciple of the Buddha does not misuse sexuality.
A disciple of the Buddha is caring and faithful in
Intimate relationship.
A disciple of the Buddha does not lie.
A disciple of the Buddha is truthful.
A disciple of the Buddha does not intoxicate self or others with substances or doctrines.
A disciple of the Buddha promotes clarity and awareness.
A disciple of the Buddha does not speak ill of others.
A disciple of the Buddha speaks out of loving kindness.
A disciple of the Buddha does not praise self at the expense of others.
A disciple of the Buddha practices humility.
A disciple of the Buddha is not possessive of anything.
A disciple of the Buddha is generous.
A disciple of the Buddha does not harbor anger.
A disciple of the Buddha practices forgiveness.
A disciple of the Buddha does not do anything to diminish the triple treasures.
A disciple of the Buddha supports and nurtures the triple treasures.
Hey, as I'm fond of saying, now you've gone and done it. These are always in your heart. There's a million different ways to express your heart. I was, as we were doing them, they're so relevant for these times. I mean, they're just such fundamental core teachings about being a true, kind, awake human being. And I just think it's kind of wonderful that we have all our opinions about, I'm going to take them, I'm not going to take them, I'm going to do them, I'm not going to do them. And then you just did it. So now you have to find out forever, what does this mean? Not as a chore, but as a wondrous exploration of having gained a precious human life. Okay, so I am going to read you different parts from, I'm going to start on page 115 in Becoming Yourself. Starts out, there's a little paragraph right underneath, I will do it.
Mhm.
When you say, I will not kill, at that moment you have Buddha mind. There is no need to think I have to keep the vows and observe the precepts forever. Can I do it? Can I not do it? Can I just blow it? Anyway, he's going to say more. In the moment where you just say, I will do it, that's Buddha mind. That's our true nature. So we'll see what Suzuki Roshi has to say about this. Observing the precepts so you can attain enlightenment, whatever that is, whatever you think you're doing this for, whatever kind of gold stars or cookies or thinking, well, I mean, we all have gaining mind, right? Even though the teachings say no gaining mind, study your gaining mind. Whatever you think you're going to attain is not the purpose of the precepts. We observe precepts and take vows in order to actualize Buddha's spirit. It's just here to help us be who we already are. Remember the great, I've been really enjoying reflecting on the talk, Suzuki Roshi's talk that I think I brought forward last Tuesday, is the hat's always on your head. It's such a great talk. It's just, they're here to help us. They're here to help us just come back. Oh yeah, okay. In the four vows, so the four bodhisattva vows are completely interrelated with this. We say sentient beings are numberless, I vow to save them. Or beings are numberless, I vow to save them. We take the vow this way. But if the sentient beings are numberless, how is it possible to save them? Do you still argue with yourself about these? It's like, what in the world is this asking me to do? The same applies to keeping the precepts. For example, we should not kill. We should not take life without a reason. Without a reason is extra. We should just say, do not kill. I will do it. That is enough. When you fall into the more usual secular understanding of precepts, you say without a reason. Without a reason means that when there is some reason I can kill. By saying so, we are making some excuse to kill. You have to make this kind of excuse because you think that the purpose of keeping precepts and taking vows is to attain enlightenment. You think that if you kill or do not observe precepts or do not take vows, you will not be a Buddha and you will not attain enlightenment. But if you understand that the purpose of observing the precepts is to give rise to Buddha mind, then when you say, I will not kill, at that moment you have Buddha mind. There is no need to think I have to keep the vows and observe the precepts forever. Actually, we do not know what we will do in the next moment. Wow. It is very difficult to know or to make sure about our future. I'm going to do just a little commentary here that I've been wanting to do, and maybe I did it, but I'll do it again. Is when I was working with the Iraq, Afghanistan vets, and we would co-lead with veterans, and I always wanted to do the precepts, and the veteran leaders would say, "No, you can't do that because the vet's killed, and it'll make them feel really bad." And I always respected that, but I also feel like there's some opportunity that we really miss to be able to enter this. I mean, we all kill, and some people have killed other human beings. But to somehow think you can go around that when people are carrying whatever we're carrying in the weight of our hearts, and how do we enter? I mean, whatever you think is, don't say that to that person. Of course, I mean, pay attention to how you say and what you say it, but that still kind of weighs on me that we didn't somehow enter that together. And it was fine, we did a lot. As Buddhists, we take vows moment after moment, so it is not necessary to think about whether they are possible or not. When you take vows or keep precepts, thinking about whether they are possible or not, your way is already not the Buddhist way. You have fallen into the superficial practice of you should do or you should not do, I should take vows or I should not take vows. He'll say later. And I appreciate this so deeply, is if you think you can do this, that's just arrogance. I mean, oh, okay. But if you think you can't do it, that's arrogance too. It's just, you just enter and just say, yes, I will. I have no idea how to do this or even what this means, because it's impossible to live without killing. And I also know that I don't want to cause harm. That's the fundamental thing. And then the more that you know that you don't want to cause harm, and that, just to continue the thread, is that a lot of people that I worked with who were veterans signed up because they wanted to be of service. And then suddenly they found themselves in these, just as we all do in one way or another, in impossible situations. So then what do we do? And how do we use whatever we're given to help us wake up? Sentient beings are numberless, I vow to save them. In a way, this means that sentient beings are numberless and that I vow to save them moment after moment continuously. What is that? Now that's joyful, and it's also like, whoa, you mean I can't go to sleep and then just wake up when I suddenly remember that I want to be a bodhisattva again? I mean, this is really asking us to be here. Moment after moment continuously is also not necessary. I vow to save them is strong enough and good enough. I just vow to be here with human beings, with this self and with all you selves and with all the selves that are complaining about stuck elevators or whatever the world is, whatever the insanity of the world is like, where's your ground? And how do these precepts help us? Just come back. Since the sentient beings are numberless, I will take this vow numberless times. That's all. That's it. That's why we come together. That's why I wear this, because I put it on and it reminds me. That's all. And then you wear it for a bunch of years, and then it's got its own life, and it's just like, I'm as much the Rakasu as I'm me. And trust me, I'm got a lot of me, but I also have a lot of vow that was always here, but it's my life. In this way, our feeling has quite a different quality. We feel the eternal practice of our Buddha way. Sentient beings are numberless means that our practice will continue forever. That's all. And you don't even know what that means. I mean, it doesn't mean anything that you think it is. Life will continue to surprise you, but you show up with your deep, clear-heartedness forever. The world will keep teaching you. Desires are inexhaustible. I vow to put an end to them. We have firm confidence in our practice that continues forever, and I will be encouraged by this vow forever. I want to wake up. I don't want to do harm. I really want to study this mind. And as Malcolm and I were sort of saying it, or the more you do it, the more you study the mind, the more you can't believe what the human mind thinks. It's completely, I was thinking as we were sitting, Suzuki Roshi used to say small mind and big mind. And I used to not like that because I wanted to do heart mind, which I still think is the truth of it. But you have a small mind and it has very small thoughts. Just study it. It's like, and there's big mind, which is we're going to enter with the Avatamsaka Sutra, which we just intuitively know on an autumn day. There's something so much bigger happening here. And then our little small minds are just chattering about it all the time. Just, it's like, oh dear. The Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter it or to master it. Because it's boundless, our vow will continue forever and we can believe in our boundless Dharma. Life is boundless. Life is a mystery, birth, death, the whole shebang. It's just wondrous. You just keep saying, yes, I will. I'll just show up. Yes, I will. Here I am. The Buddha's way is unsurpassable. I vow to attain it. The same thing will be true with this vow. When you receive precepts, you say, I will do it. It's part of the, I'll do that with Razala. And you just say, yes, yes, I will. Same thing as with Jukai. You do the precepts in this tradition when somebody's born, when somebody's married, when somebody dies, when you do that, there's no advanced, sorry, you guys, there's, this is it. There's no secret hidden practice here. This is it. I will do it. That's enough. Yes, I will. The right spirit for keeping the precepts is not to be sure whether you will keep the precepts. To say, I will keep them into the future is not so conscientious. When you receive precepts in that way, you are not receiving the precepts in your true sense as Buddha taught. Instead, you just say, yes, I will do it. Just this moment. Just this moment. That is what Buddha wants you to say. That's all. Do you understand? It is not difficult at all to receive the precepts. I actually think, I mean, we all think what we think, but I remember when we first started doing the precepts 20 years ago. I mean, and we still think it is I can't do it. I'm not good enough. If you only knew, you know, all of those 100 million things. But I think there's a big enough container here now that even though our mind thinks it, I think we have a different sense that it's okay. It's just, yes, I will. Don't set yourself up against yourself. When you think, I will not say so because I don't know whether I can do it or not, that is a kind of arrogance and is the enemy of the Buddhist. Ooh. It is to think people who are not so conscientious may say, I will keep it, but a person like me who is very conscious will not say, I will keep it. Do you see? That is very arrogant. Let me tell you what a good Buddhist I am. When you say, I will keep it, there is no arrogance. It's just really helping all beings. I'll do it because that's just what my heart says. And I'll do it right next to you and you and you and all the other crazy others over there who we have to stretch a little bit to be able to. But we also know it's a great time to be alive because it's so hard. We expect you to have a soft mind when you say, I will do it. At least I will try to do it. But even then, try to do it is not so good. I will do it, you should say. I will try to do it means you are hesitating. Do you get it? Oh, yeah, well, maybe. No, just to me, it brings me home. reactivity, anger, anxiety, othering, the whole shebang of being a human being. It's just small minds think dualistically. And in the middle of it, there's somebody with a really deep bowing intention. It just says, here I am. I'm just going to do this forever because what else am I going to do with my life? And then you watch yourself decide that your life really does have to do with judging that person over there. And they were just get it together, or you're doing it internally, it's like, it's not like this thing's ever going to stop. It's called being alive, but you also know that alive goes all the way through. I will do it is like jumping into the ocean. I will do it. Then there is no trouble. There's also, I don't know if we'll get to it maybe later, but I love the title of one of the chapters called "The Robe is My Skin." And I would just say your skin is your skin, and this robe is my skin, and my vows are my skin. And just to be a true human being. I think that's all any of us really want. And we have a path and we have teachings, and so do the Christians, and so do people of Judaic and Muslim. And I mean, the paths are, I think they all are the same, just different language, different access. I will do it. Okay, so bodhisattvas, let's get in small groups and without, just always honesty, transparency. I think it's sad and it's funny. It's so sad and it's so funny. We're all human beings, and it's so helpful to say it. And it's also really helpful to just say, yep, I know this is my vow and my intention, or whatever you want to say. So we'll get together for about 10 minutes or so, groups of 3, talk to people you don't usually talk to. I will do it. Just that's your jump off line. What's that? What comes up in this moment? Okay. See you soon. Go for it, bodhisattvas. I will do it.